Karen's teenage son smashed through my fence. Then they tried to blame me. They didn't know I was a lawyer. It was a quiet Saturday morning in our peaceful cul-de-sac, the kind of morning that made you believe the world could be calm. Birds chirped, a gentle breeze rustled the maples, and I sat on my porch sipping fresh French press coffee. Everything was perfect until I heard the unmistakable screech of tires and a thunderous crash. I dropped my cup. Coffee splashed onto the wooden boards as I rushed to the end of my driveway. That's when I saw it. Karen's son, Derek, standing beside his crumpled Honda Civic, which applauded through my wooden privacy fence. Panels splintered like matchsticks. Debris littered my manicured lawn. "Are you okay?" I asked instinctively. He was pale, wide-eyed, fumbling for his phone. Karen arrived minutes later, wearing her signature leopard print robe and fury in her eyes. "What the hell happened?" she screamed. Derek shrugged, mumbling something about brakes. Karen turned her rage to me. "Your fence shouldn't be so close to the road. This is on you." I blinked. "Excuse me." She doubled down. "You'll be hearing from my insurance. This is your fault. Derek swerved because your mailbox is illegally placed. I'm going to report you." Now, what she didn't know, what most of my neighbors didn't know, was that I'm a lawyer. A damn good one, too. And I don't take kindly to false accusations. She strutted off, calling someone on her phone, likely her cousin in code enforcement. But she just picked a fight she couldn't win. The next day, I called my insurance company. A claims adjuster named Daniel came by within hours. He inspected the wreckage and confirmed what I already knew. Derek had lost control, veered off the street, and crashed well into my property. But the nightmare was just beginning. 2 days later, I received a letter from Karen's lawyer. A handwritten, typo-filled mess that accused me of contributing to Derek's accident due to non-standard fence placement and visual obstruction. They claimed my mailbox was on the wrong side of the driveway. My fence violated local codes. The hedge beside the fence distracted Derek. It would have been hilarious if it weren't so serious. I reviewed our HOA's guidelines, the Municipal Property Code, and historical zoning documents. I was in full compliance. In fact, Karen was the one with multiple citations on file. I emailed a formal response to her attorney, CCing my insurance and HOA board. I attached photos, maps, GPS tag timestamps, and copies of my permits. My tone? Professional, but lethal. Days passed. Karen doubled down. She started gossiping in the neighborhood, saying I was money hungry, putting a teenager through hell, and probably hiding something. I stayed quiet, because the best part of being a lawyer, you know how to wait until the perfect moment to strike. If Karen wanted war, I'd give her one, but it wouldn't be the screaming on the lawn kind. No, mine would be fought with paperwork, depositions, and court filings. I filed a civil suit in small claims court for $24,995, the max before you need superior court. My claim? Property damage, emotional distress, and loss of use of property. Then I subpoenaed traffic camera footage, Derek's driving record, our emergency call logs, HOA complaints against Karen. What I found was damning. Derek had 2 prior speeding violations. He wasn't even supposed to be driving that day. His license was suspended. The camera caught him racing another kid on the street before he crashed. Game over. At the same time, I filed a motion to dismiss their counterclaim and threatened sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit. Karen started sweating. Her lawyer called me, trying to settle. "Let's be reasonable," he said. "Surely we can avoid court." I smiled. "Sure, if your client is willing to cover full repairs, legal fees, and issue a public apology in writing." He hung up. Karen began panicking. She even asked mutual neighbors to mediate. I told them kindly, this is now a legal matter. What she didn't know, I wasn't just offending myself. I was about to take everything she owned. Court day arrived. I wore a charcoal gray suit and carried a black briefcase. Karen wore a pink blazer and brought Derek, who looked like he hadn't slept in days. The courtroom was quiet. The judge, a sharp woman in her 50s, asked for opening statements. Karen's lawyer gave a sloppy, emotional plea about teenage mistakes and aggressive neighbors. I stood and calmly presented video evidence of Derek speeding, proof of his suspended license, HOA compliance on my part, photos of the damage, an expert estimate of $17,200 in repair costs. Then I dropped the final bombshell. Karen had no homeowner's insurance. She had let it lapse months ago. The courtroom murmured. The judge looked over her glasses. You're telling me the defendant knowingly allowed her unlicensed son to drive, without coverage, and now want to blame the plaintiff? Her lawyer stammered. Karen was sweating bullets. The judge ruled decisively, full amount to me, plus court costs, plus an official note of Derek's reckless driving to be sent to the DMV. I turned to Karen. You should have just paid for the fence. Karen didn't have the money. She tried to appeal, denied, tried to get a payment plan, defaulted. I garnished her wages, froze her bank account, and placed a lien on her house. Word spread fast in the neighborhood. The woman who once terrorized the HOA meetings was now shunned. She had to sell her SUV. Derek's car? Repossessed. By winter, they were forced to put their house up for sale. On the day the moving truck came, I stood on my porch, sipping coffee once again. Karen looked at me one last time. There was no rage in her eyes, just defeat. Derek avoided eye contact. She mumbled, "You destroyed us." I replied, "No, you did that yourself." Now, peace has returned. My new fence is reinforced steel. Birds chirp again. And every time someone asks why Karen moved away, I smile. I guess she couldn't handle the neighborhood rules. And in my heart, I know justice was served with a side of karma.